In today's video, we're going to be talking about 2 weeks worth of sales, and I think that the sales from this week really show what a roller coaster reselling is. There were some huge highs, but with those highs came some devastating lows. So let's just get right into it. Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park. I am a part-time reseller on reselling platforms like Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, and Depop. I'll actually be talking about a decent number of Depop sales from over the past 2 weeks, which is really exciting. And in today's video, I will be sharing with you everything that sold for me on those 4 platforms in 2 weeks. We're talking about April 29th through May 12th. And thankfully, while April was pretty sad, and it was pretty sad for a number of reasons, May has been pretty decent, mainly because like May 1st and May 3rd, I went to one of my favorite pop-up consignment sales that happens in my town twice a year, and I always get some really great pieces at that sale. I try to list those things as quickly as possible, and you're going to see a few of those items have already sold through, but also one of those items sold and then a return was open, so but let's just jump right into what sold. So we're going to start by talking about, let me open up my calendar first. Okay, so on April 29th, which was a Monday, on Poshmark, I sold this Callaway Golf Gray striped short sleeve polo shirt in a men's size large. This is not anything exciting. This is not even necessarily anything that I would pick up normally while outsourcing. I just happened to get it sent to me from a reseller when I bought out her clothing inventory because she decided that she didn't really like to sell clothing. She just wanted to focus on hard goods. So like 2.5 years ago or something like that at this point, I bought all of her clothing inventory off of her. It came out to about $2 an item. It sold for $15 with, Poshmark's fees and my cost of goods. My net profit on that was $10. At this point, even if I got something like that sent to my house through a reseller buyout or something like that, I probably wouldn't take the time to list it. I probably would just go ahead and consign that at like a local consignment store or something. The next sale on this particular day was over on Depop, and I don't know, I feel like I've been doing a little bit better on Depop. Now, granted, 3 sales across the span of 2 weeks is nothing to write home about, but it's still definitely an uptick from what it was looking like before. But on Depop, I sold this pair of Everlane black, the way high raw hem jeans in a women's size 30. Those were made of organic cotton, and they sold on Depop for $45, which was kind of surprising because these didn't really scream Depop girly to me. You know what I'm saying? Although I guess they are kind of like grungy, like you could definitely consider them part of that trend. But nothing really stood out to me about these jeans except for the fact that they were just a nice pair of jeans to own. And yet they sold on Depop. That doesn't mean that I'm going to start like listing every single thing that I have over to Depop at this point. I do definitely still think that it's probably in my best interest to curate what it is that I'm listing over there. But it does kind of make me think about what things I'm not listing and kind of makes me think a little bit more about if there's a few more pieces that I could be putting on Depop. But anyways, I had $6.99 into those. I had picked those up at a Goodwill about, I don't know, like 3 hours away from me in the suburbs of Chicago while I was there with my family for something. And I did pay for shipping on those because on Depop, I do offer free shipping. I just kind of build the price of shipping into the amount that I charge for items. And this person happened to live in Alaska, which is like the farthest away you can live for me while still living in the United States. So I did have to pay $8.50 to get that shipped out to her, but that's all right. My net profit was still $23.07, and thankfully those were not listed for a very long time. I also had an eBay sale on this day, and it was this Ted Baker blue geometric print short sleeve button-up shirt for men in a size extra large. I forgot that I had that in my possession. Not forgot that I had it, but it was only listed on eBay. So I never saw any attention around that shirt on like Poshmark or Mercari in the form of likes or views or anything like that. I just like forgot that it existed. So thank God that it sold on eBay for $19.90. That was an offer that I sent out to watchers. When I noticed that it had a watcher on it, it had the one watch. I sent out the offer. Thankfully, that person accepted. I sent out an offer of $19.90. It was also promoted at 3%. I'm saying I had $3 into it. I'm pretty sure I picked it up at a local consignment store during like a tag sale. And so my net profit on that was $13.18. And this is yet another reminder that I need to do a full inventory check on all of the things that I have listed, I should say, but put in my bins, because I feel like there's a good number of items in there that are just hanging out but aren't listed anywhere. Like I took the photographs and I just threw them in the bins, but somewhere in the process, they never got listed, or like this Ted Baker piece, they got listed to one platform, but not to the other. So this is just a huge reminder to me that that is something that I need to do over the summer. Let me know if you do an inventory check on all of your inventory, and if so, how often you do that. Also, I'm gonna clean my glasses because they are filthy. I'm so sorry if you were just looking at smudgy smudges. All right, moving on though to May 1st, which was a Wednesday, which means that on Tuesday the 30th, I had 0 sales. But on May 1st on Poshmark, this was kind of a bittersweet sale. So I sold this pair of a Goldie 90s distressed ripped high-rise straight jeans in a women's size 27. I put the word destroyed in the title, and I also mentioned in the description that they were pretty flawed, in that on the back of these jeans was a gigantic rip, like from the butt cheek down to like your knee pit, which doesn't seem like a normal place to have a rip or a tear in a pair of jeans. Like these were beyond destroyed. And when I hauled them, I remember like noticing that huge rip in the back and being like, oh no, like I don't even know if I can list these now. This is surely not how these were supposed to be made. I did, in looking up comps, notice that there were a few jeans listed like these that had sold or were currently listed that had basically an identical rip, like a huge rip in the back. And I don't know if it's just because of how distressed these already are, if that's just like a natural thing that happens when these jeans are worn out. I don't know, but I couldn't really tell if that was a manufactured distress detail or if it was something that happened as someone was wearing them. I did though put in the description, hey, these have a huge rip in the back, like please look at the pictures. And I took pictures of the rip. I was very abundantly clear, and I listed them because I saw that other people had listed jeans in a similar condition. So someone sent me an offer of $50. I went ahead and accepted, even though I had been hoping, sell them for like $100 or $125. I think I had them listed for like $75. So I got a $50 offer. I went ahead and accepted. I had $13.75 into them from a 50% off sale at a local consignment store. And my net profit was $26.25. The bittersweet part is that she was not happy with the jeans. She didn't, open a case or anything, but she did leave a comment being like, okay, it's my bad because I should have checked the listing much more carefully. I should have seen that, yes, you did say that they were flawed and you did have pictures of the flaw. However, I just didn't catch that, and I don't really understand why you even had these for sale. And she was like, you listed them as in good condition, but I feel like you should have listed them as in fair condition, all these things. And I see her point, but also she saw and commented on the fact that I did state that they were pretty messed up. I also feel like, girly, that's why they were priced lower. My price, again, I think I had them priced at $75, but other people had them priced at $100 or even more. I think the price helped reflect that. And when something is priced so low, you want to just make sure that there's not a reason as to why it's priced that low. If the pictures look really good, they look really professional, and then prices are that low, usually there's a reason as to why. So I don't know. I guess that's just a me thing as someone who's pretty experienced with shopping on Poshmark. But she wasn't happy. She left me 3 stars or something out of 5. I did get paid. I do feel bad, and I hope she was able to like patch them up somehow. The next sale of the day was on eBay, and it was this True Religion red sleeveless scoop neck romper in a women's size small. This sold for $25 on eBay. I believe that was an offer that was sent to me. I had $347 into this from a consignment store in my area when they were running a birthday sale, and I think I got this. I don't know why I keep making this plural. I got this last year in May. So it's been like a whole year that I've had this, but I did eventually finally make a net profit of $17.88 on that. And then on May 2nd on eBay, I sold this pair of Ralph Lauren navy cargo pocket pants in a women's size 14. These sold for $22 on eBay. They were promoted at 3% as well. I had $3.92 into them, and I just let them go for $22 because I've had these for so long. They've probably been listed. That's a fun sound. That, List Perfectly actually has that like cash register sound now when you make a sale because they have that sales detection, which is really nice. So when something sells, I think it has to be on like eBay, Poshmark, maybe Mercari, but like if it sells on one of those three platforms, then you'll get like a little ka-ching, and List Perfectly will go through and delete that listing from all of your other platforms, which is really nice. Like you don't have to do it yourself. I still go through and like double check just because when I end listings on eBay and sell similar, or when I relist listings on Poshmark, I don't take the time at that moment to like put in the new ID number on List Perfectly. I need to come up with a new system, but that was my old system. I'm still in the midst of it, so that's how it is. But that is a really nice perk of List Perfectly. So, and I made a sale on Mercari. Okay, you guys, like what is happening? I just made a sale on Mercari. Let's see. Oh, wow. I just sold two Cantha Bay pieces, my last two Cantha Bay pieces on Mercari. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. That's amazing. That's my first bundle sale, I think, on Mercari. That is exciting. Okay, anyway, I'm so sorry. If you want to try out List Perfectly, though, if you want the ka-ching every time you make a sale and you want sales detection and you want the ability to cross-list to many platforms very quickly and efficiently, definitely check out my code down in the description below. It is BECKYPARK, and it helps you save 30% off of your first month. But let me keep going here with my sales. Ooh, but that was so exciting. Okay. But yeah, that particular pair of pants only sold for $22. I had $3.92 into them from a reseller buyout that I did like 3 or 4 years ago. Like it was so long ago. And so my net profit on those was $15.34. On the 3rd of May, which was a Friday, on Poshmark, I sold this pair of Tail Tech brown Bermuda golf shorts in a women's size 10. Those sold for $17 on Poshmark. I did offer discounted shipping on those, and that was a sale through Posher VA. That sale was from before, when Poshmark still made you attach a shipping discount when you were sending offers to likers. However, they recently have been playing around with sometimes you don't have to offer a shipping discount, and I feel like they're moving in the direction of just like doing away with it altogether if they haven't already. I haven't really been like compulsively checking to see if it's always available to send offers without the shipping discount. But for this sale, I did offer the shipping discount. I had $3.25 into those from a local consignment store. My net profit was $8.33. I mistook Tail Tech, the brand, as just the brand Tail. I had a really good Tail sale, and so when I saw these Tail Tech pieces, I was like, oh my gosh, like these are the same brand and they're gonna do amazing. No, don't pick up Tail Tech, at least not for $3.25, because if you can get pieces by that brand to sell for like $15, $18, $20, that's a miracle. But Tail, the other brand that I had, that one sold for like $35 or something like that. And then on May 4th, which was a Saturday, on Poshmark, I sold this Polo Ralph Lauren Performance light blue quarter zip pullover in a men's size 2XL. I don't know why I let go of this for so little. I let go of it for $18. I only had $2 into it from a $2 tag sale at a local consignment store. And so my net profit was $12.40. I feel like I could have held on to that, though. I'm not quite sure why I let go of it as quickly as I did. And then also on Poshmark, I sold this pair of Old Navy Sweetheart cuffed dark wash mid-rise shorts in a women's size 2. Old Navy is not really a brand that I pick up a whole lot, but that was something that I got from a reseller buyout. The same reseller who decided she didn't like to sell clothes. So I had $2 into those. They sold for $15, again, with discounted shipping because of Posture VA. By the way, if you want to try out Posture VA for yourself as well, it's a tool that I use to send out offers to likers. I use it to relist sale listings on Poshmark. I use it for a number of things. I use it to share my closet. So I had Posture VA send out offers to likers for me, and that's how I made this sale. And my net profit was $7.98. And so if you want to try out Posture VA as well, so you don't have to do all those things manually yourself, you can check out my link for that as well. I do have a coupon code that'll help you save 20% off of your first month. The next day of sales that we'll talk about is May 5th, which was a Sunday. On that Sunday, I sold on eBay this express purple ribbed V-neck oversized high-low sweater in a women's size medium. And I did use the word chunky in the title because it was kind of chunky. I was not excited about this piece. I got it as a part of a different reseller's buyout. I had about $3 into each of her items. It was like in sellable condition. Express is not a brand that I get excited about. I think that their stuff can sell. It's probably usually not going to sell for that much. I was expecting to have to sit on this for a while, but I actually sold it fairly quickly for $24.99. Again, I only had $3 into it, so my net profit was $19.67. I kind of feel like I got lucky with that one. Like, I don't feel like that's necessarily a sign that I should keep picking up Express sweaters. I don't know. Let me know down in the description if you have really good luck with Express sweaters or Express anything. I feel like in the past when I've listed Express, I've gotten burned in that I've just had to sit on it for so long. But this, I don't know, this makes me wonder. So maybe I'll try picking up a few more Express pieces if they're really cheap. Some more of these like chunky, bigger oversized sweaters, and I'll see if that's a little bit of a niche with Express. I don't know. On May 6th, unfortunately, I had no sales, but on May 7th, which was a Tuesday, I did have my next Depop sale, and I knew that these were going to sell on Depop. Like when I saw these at the thrift store, I was like, I'm going to pick these up because I feel like they're going to sell on Depop. It was this pair of Call It Spring, that was the brand name, black faux leather platform high top sneakers in a women's size 8. I also put the word Y2K in the listing title. They are not like from the Y2K era, but they're like a Y2K style, I would say. They sold on Depop for $40. I had $8.98 into them from a Goodwill that I went to in a town about an hour away while my students were rehearsing for All-State Conference. And so while they were rehearsing, I went thrifting. I got a bunch of great stuff, including these shoes, and my net profit, because I did pay for shipping and I did pay obviously for the item itself, and there were fees and stuff, my net profit was $18.44. Again, I do pay for shipping on Depop just because I feel like when I was first learning about Depop, that's what people said. They said that's just kind of the culture on Depop, that free shipping is expected. And then I've heard, people say, well, I don't do free shipping and I do great on Depop. I don't know. At this point, it's just what I do. So I did pay for shipping. It all adds up. And that's why I ended up profiting less than 50% of what that item sold for. But I was still pretty happy with that because Call It Spring does not seem like a brand that does pretty well. Like comps, when I was looking up comps for the brand itself, shoes were selling for like $20, like maybe $25, but a lot of them were like, $20, $18, $15. So I didn't have high hopes for it, except for the fact that this style looked so good. And I just had a lot of faith in the style. And it did really well on Depop. It got so much attention over there. It sold like 3 or 4 times before someone actually paid for it, which we've already talked about in a previous What Sold video, how much that pisses me off about Depop. But it did finally sell. Someone paid for it and I shipped it out, and I hope they love them. And then on the 8th of May, which was a Wednesday, on eBay, I sold this pair of Tom's Alpargata, I don't know, plant dye, blue tie dye. Oh my gosh, I cannot read. Blue tie-dye canvas flats. They were in a women's size 8. They sold on eBay for $14. I had $4.79 into them, I'm saying, because this is actually something that I got from a coworker of mine because we're doing a consignment type situation. So if something sells and leaves me with a net profit of under $25, I give her 40%. And so 40% of that net profit was $4.79. I kept $7.19. I do not pick up Tom's like I've sold them before and they always sell for so little. So these kinds of like Tom's canvas flats, I don't pick them up. Even if I were to see them at the bins, I would just leave them behind. But for her, I sold them. Also on the 8th, also on eBay, I sold this Eileen Fisher red linen blend front zip lightweight jacket in a women's size large. That sold on eBay for $39.90. That was an offer that I sent out to watchers. It was promoted at 3%. I had $4.29 into it from a local consignment store, and so my net profit was $28.68. The next sale from this day was on Poshmark, and it was this vintage Nike blue pullover windbreaker. It was like in a youth boy size medium. I did put like 90s, Y2K, big swoosh because it had a big swoosh in the center. That actually sold for, let's see, that sold for $21 on Poshmark. I only had $2.50 into it from this like little local thrift store in the town where my students were rehearsing for their all-state music conference. And I love going to little mom and pop thrift stores like that because things are usually really cheap. And you're supporting like a local cause, you know? So $2.50 into that, and I made a net profit of $14.30. And then on the 9th of May, which was a Thursday, on eBay, I sold this vintage Burberry's blue 100% wool 2-button blazer sports coat in a men's size 56. That I was a little nervous about because I said that it was a size 56 after like doing measurements and stuff, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel like I do a good job of doing measurements on these kinds of sports coats, but I did a lot of research as to like, what am I supposed to measure? How do those numbers add up to the size? I don't know, but this sold on eBay for $32.50. I only had $2 into this because I got it at the bins in Denver when I went last October. So my net profit was $28. And up until this point, the sale has held. They have not opened a return or anything because of size. So I'm hoping that I did my measurements correctly and that this fits the person and that they're happy with them. That is my hope. The next sale on the 9th was over on Depop. So this is my third Depop sale. And it was this Lovers and Friends Beth Gingham print tie front mini dress in a women's size small. That sold for $40. I had $7 into it from a Plato's Closet, actually. I went to like one of their 75% off sales or something like that. And, you know, I thought I scored pretty well with that $7 price. And so my net profit was $22.03. Lovers and Friends is a pretty popular Revolve brand. It's pretty expensive retail. I feel like its resale value has gone down over the past year or so, but it's still something that I'll pick up if I find it for pretty cheap. Also on the 9th on eBay, I sold this game. It was called the Jackbox Party Pack. It was for like PlayStation 3. It came with the manual and it has like 5 games as part of it, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a big hard goods or like video game person. It kind of stresses me out because I don't know what I'm doing. But that sold for $11.99, which I think was my full asking price. And it was promoted at 3%. I only had $2 into it from a garage sale last summer, so my net profit was $7.17. And then on May 10th, which was a Friday, on eBay, I sold this J. Crew Factory blue plaid homespun slim button-down shirt in a men's size small. That one sold for $14.90. I had it priced higher, but I had an international buyer reach out and ask if there was anything I could do about the price because shipping was going to be so much for this to get shipped to him internationally. So I was like, yes, I've had this for a very long time. I can sell it to you for $14.90. And he was like, absolutely, let's do that. So I dropped the price to $14.90 and my net profit was $12.09. I believe that's just something that my husband wore, so, you know, pure profit. On May 10th on Poshmark, I sold this Traveler's Collection by Chico's white mesh asymmetrical shirt in a women's size small. This I got, that sold for $15. I had $1 into it from a local consignment store. They were having like a $1 sale, which is a sign that like maybe I didn't need to be picking up a lot of those things because even at $1, like those things were still sitting there. But I paid $1 for this. My net profit was $11, and that's from 2021. So, yeah, now it just goes to show you how popular something like that is. Also on Poshmark, I sold this Ronnie Kobo Rita Sage snakeskin mini skirt in a women's size small made of vegan leather. I had this price for a stupid high amount, like $150. And that's because that's how some other people were pricing them. But I got a $50 offer and I didn't even fight it. I was like, sure, just take it. And the reason for that is because I got that for free. My sister-in-law's cousin just gave her like bags of clothes that she didn't wear anymore. And most of it was like going out, partying, clubbing type clothes. And most of it was kind of more like fast fashion. This one was not. This was like a nicer piece. I had nothing into it. I made a net profit of $40. Now, this is where my heart broke a little. Well, it didn't break yet. So let me start by saying on eBay, I sold one of my first pieces from the consignment sale that I was telling you about, the pop-up consignment sale that comes to my town twice a year. And at this sale, there is a consignor who at every sale will sell like 5 to 10 Magnolia Pearl pieces. I will typically wait until the half off day because this person always does signify that she's willing to go half off on things, but the people who run the sale are the ones who price the items for her. And they know that like people like me, and if it's not me, there are other people who will buy Magnolia Pearl no matter what. So every year they price things higher and higher. They, no joke, had a pair of Magnolia Pearl pants this year priced at over $500. I did not get those. So I do get maybe 1 or 2 pieces, even on that full price sale day, if the full price still leaves me with wiggle room to make a profit. So I picked up this Magnolia Pearl My Sun top yellow eyelet floral tunic top in a women's size small. I did put the word boho in there, and it's not really a size small. Magnolia Pearl pieces are considered one size fits all or one size fits most. This, however, had so much structure to it that I was like, there's no way that this is a one size fits all. And therefore, I just felt the need to like take measurements and say what I thought the sizing was based off of measurements. And to me, it was a size small. So this sold for $255 on eBay. I had $110 into it, and I did pay up a little bit for insured shipping. So my net profit was $101.17. I did not double my money, but I still made a pretty handsome profit. So I was really happy with that. However, just today is May 21st, and she purchased this on May 10th. Just today, she opened a return because she said it smells like mildew, which it does not. It actually has like a very strong perfumey smell to it because that is the laundry detergent, or like that's what this person uses. Like all of this person's clothes smell like that, but it's not mildew. It's like this really expensive laundry detergent that they use. So it smells like that. And I know that because I smelled it. And then she was like, the snap buttons don't seem very strong. I don't know. So my hope is that she doesn't actually follow through with the return. A lot of times on eBay, people will start a return and they won't actually ever return the item back to you. I am praying that that's what happens because I don't want to have to relist that. I mean, I think I'll do fine if I do, but I would just love for it to stay where it is. So that's where my heart broke a little today, getting that return request. It was like a punch in the gut. You know what I mean? And that's what happens with reselling. You have the highs of selling something like that, and then it's that item that, they want to return. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. And then also on the 10th on Poshmark, I had another sale, and this was a dress by the brand Kate. This was part of that same pop-up consignment sale. It was this beautiful ombre floral embroidered handmade maxi dress in a women's size medium. However, when I went to take pictures, I noticed that someone had done a hack job on the back bottom of this dress. Like, I think the dress was just too long for this person. So they literally just took scissors and went like this. Like, the way that they tried to hem this dress was atrocious. And so I got an offer from someone named Brooke, who is a viewer. She said, hey, it's Friday, which, on Fridays, Poshmark does that closet clear out thing where if you drop the price of something, Poshmark will of that item know, and they'll also let them know that there'll be discounted shipping to those potential buyers. So she was like, would you be willing to drop the price of this to, I think it was like, and I'll get discounted shipping. And I was like, absolutely, but I need you to know that the back of this dress is ridiculous. And I didn't catch that when I was hauling the video. So please look at the pictures. And she was like, I did. And my mom and I think that we're going to be able to salvage it. So I went ahead and dropped the price of the dress to $18 for her. She got it. She said she thinks that they can save it. I'm so happy. It is so beautiful. I don't understand why someone thought they could just take scissors and cut the bottom of the dress. And then on the 11th, which was my brother's birthday, he does not watch these videos, but if you're watching, Joe, happy birthday. On the 11th, which was a Saturday, on Poshmark, I had another really great sale. It was by the brand Prairie Underground, which is, I don't know, it's not like a super well-known brand. They make very interesting pieces, but it was this blue cowpunk moto zip hoodie sweatshirt in a women's size small. That sold for $106 on Poshmark. I was so excited. And so my net profit was $84.80. I actually sourced that on Whatnot. I got it from a fellow reseller named Hope, and I paid $37.72 for it, except I had credit. I had Whatnot credit, so I didn't actually have any money into that item, but had I paid real money, I would have been paying $37.72. Since I didn't have to actually pay that, my net profit was $84.80. And then also on Poshmark that day, I sold another piece from that pop-up consignment sale. It was by the brand Paper Lace, and it was this graphic t-shirt with an eye on it. It was oversized, boxy, and it was another one of those one size fits most. I did use the word boho in the listing title. It sold for my full asking price of $50, which I was kind of nervous I had it overpriced because a lot of other t-shirts by this brand were not going for that much. Now I wonder if I had it underpriced. I don't know, but I had $15 into it from the full price sale day. My net profit was $25. Also on Poshmark that day, I sold this pair of the Platinum Crop by Chico's green skinny pants in a Chico size 2, which is the equivalent of a US size 12. Those sold for $18. I had $1.11 into those from a birthday sale at a local consignment store, and my net profit was $13.29. And best of all, the person left me a comment being like, "These fit perfectly. I love them. Thank you so much." And then on the 12th of May, on Poshmark, I sold this Eileen Fisher loose knit linen blend asymmetrical tunic sweater in a women's size large. That sold for $21. I had $3.80 into it from that clothes mentor haul that I did back in January from when I went to Peoria, where my students were rehearsing for their All-State Music Conference. My net profit was $13.20. And my last sale of these 2 weeks was over on eBay. It was the LOGG brand that's part of H&M, and it was this gray cable knit fisherman coastal sweater in a men's size small. I just used coastal as a keyword just because I was like, it looks kind of, like fisherman-y, whatever. So that was actually something that a friend of mine gave to me to sell for him. So I'm kind of doing the same kind of consignment deal that I am doing with my coworker. And H&M is normally not a brand that I resell, but this just looked very trendy. You know what I mean? So I went ahead and listed it, and I was very pleasantly surprised. It sold very quickly for $19.90 on eBay. I'm saying I hit $7 into it because that's the cut that I'm going to give my friend, and I will get to keep $10.50. So let's talk about my numbers because my computer miraculously is still holding out. So on Depop, I sold 3 items, and my gross sales amount was $125. My cost of goods for those 3 items was $22.97. And so my net profit on Depop was $63.54. And then over on eBay, I sold 12 items for a gross sales amount of $582.77. It's mainly because of that Magnolia Pearl piece. My cost of goods was $144.27. $110 of that was the Magnolia Pearl piece. So my net profit on eBay was $273.97. And then on Poshmark, I sold 13 items for a gross sales amount of $414. My cost of goods for those items was $53.21, and my net profit on Poshmark was $273.95. So in total, my gross sales amount was $1,121.77. My cost of goods was $220.46, and my net profit for 2 weeks for 28 items sold was $611.46. That is hoping and praying that that Magnolia Pearl piece does not get returned to me, but that's definitely an improvement from the last What Sold video that I did, so I will take it, and I think May is going to look even better. So I hope sales are picking up for you as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you want more What Sold content, check out this playlist right here because it is every single What Sold video that I've ever filmed ever. So thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button if you learned anything or enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!